Hey, you guys, Cindy here, and I'm so excited to be with you today, talking all about baggage. I know we oftentimes touch on this subject, however, don't always really dive into what baggage is, what to look for, and what to pay attention to within yourself so that you're not actually blocking your chances of opening up your heart to have the great relationship that you want. We all have baggage. I don't care if you're 20 or 80. We all have baggage um, that we've collected. And what I choose to believe when it comes to baggage, that some of it's actually really good because, you know, many of us have had life experiences, and those life experiences have given us wisdom, have given us experience, have given us some points of view through the things that we've gone through, right? So whether that be childhood stuff, relationships, things, so on and so forth. But the things I want to talk to you about are, three things about baggage to really pay attention to. Hi, Helene. The number one thing to, be acutely aware of is, paying attention to yourself. Like, so your baggage could actually be some of the things that trigger you. So what bothers you about someone, what what's triggering you, what maybe makes you go into a fear mode, that can be baggage. We can look at baggage too. This is number two is, what we've had in our past, our relationship experiences that might be still a part of us, whether we have, you have a child or children from an old spouse, or you've been married multiple times, those things that, other people, that people may consider baggage, right? So something to keep in mind when it comes to that, there's always sayings around, oh, that person has too much baggage. So what does that really mean? What comes up for me around baggage is we can put, kind of a stigma around shame, blame. If you've been in an abusive situation where there's narcissism or, some other types of, things that have transpired in the relationship that hasn't been something that you're proud to have engaged in, or that you look back on and you think, gosh, I would never do that again, right? Again, those are experiences, and those experiences don't need to become your baggage. They don't actually identify you and who you are in this world. So something to be acutely aware of when it comes to baggage, how is another person letting their baggage affect them? So I notice this oftentimes when it comes to people, and what sets them off. So getting curious about something that might irritate them, or they feel passionate about and they don't like. So when it comes to dating and getting to know someone, if something really irritates you, and let me give you an example. I'll tell you something that irritates me. And I believe this might have started from my childhood. So it really irritates me that, if I'm on the phone with somebody, and let's just say we have a bit of a disagreement and we're both a little heated, but we're getting off the phone nonetheless. it really bothers me when somebody just chooses to hang up or they cut off the conversation altogether. So, the feelings that come up for me are actually abandonment, or that person really just does not care, or which that's a story that's being created. However, that's the trigger, right? So, and my mom would do that at times when she was really frustrated or angry. She would hang up. And so I also experienced that in an old relationship, and it reopened up the wound, right? And I couldn't understand why it always bothered me so much. And then when I got really clear about what that was really about, it was about something that came up in my childhood. So paying attention to things that hold you back, paying attention to things that you might, that bother you. And same with him. If something bothers him, get curious. Why do you think that bothers you so much? What is it about that irritates you? And you want to pay attention to somebody's reaction. And that's part of why it's so important to take your time to get to know someone, because baggage starts to seep out as time goes on. So, in the beginning, yes, you can meet somebody and they could say, well, I've been divorced twice, and I've got a child from a previous marriage, and this and that. We share 50-50 custody, blah, blah, blah. I mean, red flags to look for is how they talk about their ex. If they say really unfavorable things about their ex, it can be challenging at times to look for good things if they've experienced some trauma, right? But how they position that, how you position that, do you go into a victim mode when you talk about past relationships, and really being conscious about that? So that's a red flag, because if somebody is really angry or bitter or not, it's a sign that they really haven't let go of the past, and they're going to bring their past with them. I think many of you guys have, or I don't know if you have, but I'm going to talk about this. It's like maybe you bring 4 or 6 people into a relationship. So you're going out on a date and 4 other people are in the car. So people are bringing a piece of their past to the present. And what that does is, if you're really living in the past, it doesn't give the present and future a fighting chance, because there's absolutely no possibility that you're going to be just like that person, or not even so much that anybody wants you to be like them. It's hard when people are holding on to the past, and they're actually, I've seen it, using that as a barrier to entry. Oh, I was hurt so badly in the past, I don't know if I can open my heart again. Okay, so that actually, if that person isn't willing to open their heart up and you're really seeking lasting love, then it's going, you can't penetrate that unless they are committed to doing the work, committed to moving through it, committed to understanding and identifying those feelings and letting them go. I believe we have baggage that comes up our entire lives. So it's all about you guys seeking to understand and, looking at the situation and being reasonable with yourself, being reasonable with the other person, and how you feel. Our bodies don't lie. So how do you feel when you're around this person? How do you feel when they get triggered? Are you easily able to have a conversation with them? Are you easily able to bring things up that feel uncomfortable? And you might be going, well, no, Cindy, I don't. Then I would ask yourself this question: is it hard for you to bring things up when there's an uncomfortable situation regardless? And if that's the case, there's a fear of confrontation. So we want to look at getting through the uncomfortable to get to comfortable. Something that I've experienced often is when there's been times where I've had, difficult communication and, challenges around communication. And what has happened is that, sorry, you guys, my phone, is that it's actually brought me closer to the other person because there's more clarity. So if you can look at baggage as such, you want to be reasonable. You want to look at, okay, if the guy's been married 5 times, why? What's that about? Maybe he's a hopeless romantic, or maybe there's something deeper there that could be a red flag. I would try not to judge right away. So anyways, I hope this helps you guys, and I look forward. I'm actually having a really special guest on tomorrow that you're not going to want to miss. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Oh, also, one more thing. If you know anybody that needs to hear this, I would love it if you would share with anyone. And let me know if you have questions, comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to respond to all of them. Bye.